Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to a miserable and dreary, rainy, grey StoneX Stadium. But there is nothing miserable, grey and rainy about what's happening today. We are crowning champions. We've crowned a king. It's time to crown some kings of rugby, and that's exactly what we're doing at the StoneX Stadium in North London today. And next up on the list, the Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Plate final between Twickenham and Longlevens. So let's see how the home side Twickenham line up for today's final. In the front row for Twickenham, we've got Alex Bennett, Josh Otter and Jordan Files. And in the second row, just behind them, captain Louis Banks is joined alongside Scott Davidson. Sam Cockcroft, James Moore and Nick Smith make up the back row for Twickenham. Pierre Doliveau, the half-back pairing alongside Tom Foster. Jack Dillon and Arthur Polly, the wings respectively for Twickenham. Joe Ash and Ross Cowell in the centre, with John Henry Smith at the back at fullback. Some poignant music playing about making legends, and that's exactly what Longlevens are looking to do, to make some legends in English rugby history. And Harvey Walsingham, Cam Jones, Josh Stratton will make the front row. Josh Lyons and Joe Weatherly just behind them in the second row. Jack Cuthbert and Daniel Jenkins join captain Jed Holman-Jones in the back row. Brad Wilkinson, Tom Griffiths, the half-back pairing, with Ben Collier and Corey Holman-Jones in the centres respectively. Henry York and Mike York on either wing of the park at left and right wing respectively. And Lewis Boyd is wearing the number 15 shirt and completes the starting lineup for Longlevens. And the substitutes for Twickenham first: James Crowe, Sean Aguilera, Jasper Barmer, James Crowe, Luke Deakin, Louis Chapman and Thomas Meldon. And for Longlevens, Dave Edwards, Oliver Deakin, Matt Fatika, Tom Denby, Jack Beck, Carlos Jenkins and Ben Furley. I don't know how we're all keeping at home, but I'm struggling to keep up with play because this ball is going literally everywhere, except where all these players actually want it to go at the moment. It's manic stuff out there. Twickenham win a penalty, but they tap and go quickly, but the referee is pulling them back. Hands over the top, going off their feet, Longlevens at the ruck. And Twickenham call the shot to goal. That's an impressive feat if they can get this one here through the boots of Fozzie Tom Foster himself, because that's a good 50 odd metres, because they're not on centre, so this is optimistic.
I think this is possibly the furthest kick we would have seen today, pretty much on halfway.
Just the unofficial, this is the Rocky Clark Award for the furthest kick.
I'm going to say 48 metres. The Elliot Daly of the Twickenham team, right?
Absolutely. Well, let's hope he can do it. Well, it's a lefty as well.
He's a lefty.
Really is the Elliot Daly of the team. Well.
Big old left peg.
My dad will tell me off for saying that in such a surprised manner, being shocked that he's a left-footed player, because he's a left-footed footballer. It's not that unusual.
It is if you're right-handed, I guess.
Well, he's given that one heck of a thwack, and it's gone straight through the uprights. Twickenham have their first points of the game, which means that the scoreboard reads Twickenham 3, Longlevens 0. In the Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Plate final, it's advantage Twickenham. Stranger things have happened, but Twickenham boy, Lewis Boyd, is on this blind side here, so plenty of options any way you look at it, and they are going to go the side of Boyd. Is he going to make it out to the 15? It's not. Instead, the offload from Jed Holman-Jones to Brad Wilkins is the furthest they get, but peeling round the corner now, Joe Weatherly. Getting ever closer now, Longlevens, to that Twickenham try line. Out the back pass to Josh Stratton. He boulders his way towards the line, and Stratton has stretched. And he's over for Longlevens' first try in this fixture.
Always rely on your front row forwards. Yes, what a try. Absolute cannonball coming through there, real pace. I think he got an extra 5 kilometres pace as he went through, because he knew he was going to score. Brilliant work by the tight head prop.
He couldn't have picked a better line if he tried. He was on fire. We've got a replay of that coming in now. Rocky, this must make you really, really happy. The initial attack didn't quite work for Longlevens, but they managed to recompose themselves, and then it's a great line picked up by Josh Stratton.
Yeah, and it's all about route one, isn't it? And he's just used his weight and momentum to go over. We'd seen the tackle come in, but because he was so close, he was able to stretch out over the top.
And despite the tunes of Get Jiggy With It ringing around the stadium still, Brad Wilkins slots that kick with ease. He's not fazed by the music. And he extends Longlevens' lead. It now reads Twickenham 3, Longlevens 7 in the Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Plate final. Beautifully timed hit there coming in. Here comes Twickenham now. That ball was shot out the back of the scrum, and Foster puts in a delicate little kick over the top, and before it even hits the ground, Jed Holman-Jones hacks it forward, but it's hacked straight into the hands of Jack Dillon, who puts a high ball in himself. And coming up to contest it will be Arthur Polly. Oh, and Polly has not timed that well against Lewis Boyd. Boyd has gone down very dangerously, but Polly instantly apologising to the Twickenham youth. Only playing for Longlevens today, as I said, because he's a university student at Hartbury. Rocky, it's dangerous, number one, but it is accidental, because you can see both of them had their eyes up on the ball.
Yeah, they did. It's no card, I don't think. Wow, he's been lucky to get away with that.
But do you think it's because both of them, their eyes were set skywards, they weren't really looking out for each other? Or is that, you know, as a player, you should be looking out for the opposition anyway?
Yeah, you do have a duty of care, don't you? It's really hard because you want to go up and compete for the ball, but they rightly so were looking at the ball to go for that rather than... Oh, it's a tough one getting caught. But yeah, you have to look after that player, you have to time your run better. It's only a penalty.
Well, we've got a penalty in favour of Longlevens now. Twickenham disrupting that maul illegally. And they're going to go quickly now through Brad Wilkins. The scrum half got them going quickly. But it's another penalty to Longlevens, because Twickenham weren't back 10 before they interfered with play. And now their captain, Jed Holman-Jones, pointing towards the corner. So Wilkins will hopefully listen to him, put this one in the corner. And we might see one of our first threatening driving mauls of the game so far. We've not really seen one get motoring and get going for a while in this fixture. As we are approaching the half-time break, this would be the ideal moment for Longlevens to strike, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Thrown to the middle, pretty good setup.
Good catch there, and had they been able to work the ball back, it's gone down to the floor, but it is still available for Longlevens. This attack is very much still alive and hurtling towards the try line now. Jack Cuthbert. Is Cuthbert over? He's held up just short. So Longlevens working this back now. And the referee calling a stop to play. Let's have a listen to what he has to say now.
Not rolling.
And it's a yellow card for Foster. Tom Foster, the Twickenham fly half, is off for 10 minutes, and Twickenham are down to 14 players. Things going from bad to slightly worse for Twickenham at the moment. And Longlevens call a scrum. An interesting call 5 metres out. You'd think that they would want to go for another line-out drive. What do you make of that call, Rocky?
Well, perhaps they're thinking that there'll be a defender short in the wider channel, so maybe they're looking at banking on Twickenham putting in eight people in the scrum, so they'll be short in the backs. But on wet conditions, you could argue that you want to go for that drive.
Well, here come Longlevens now, with a put in at the scrum. And Jed Holman-Jones goes digging for it to try and protect his scrum off. Brad Wilkins is now out in the back line with Griffiths. Surely one more pass and they're in for a score here. And on that far side wing is Henry York, and he gets it down in the corner. It's another Longlevens score. And they extend their lead in this Papa John's Men's County South Plate final. Great score from the winger, Henry York.
It was great play by Mike York to come round off of his wing, to loop round. Fly half pulled it in behind to the arcing run. Mike York, who put away Henry in the corner. Good finish to score it just before he got bundled into touch. They've been threatening now, haven't they, for the last 10-15 minutes? But that could well be a vital score before half-time. We've seen 3 players go off injured for Twickenham. A yellow card and a score against. This is going to be tough now.
Well, we've seen the longest kick of the day in this fixture, and we're now about to witness probably the most difficult kick of the day in this fixture, because that's quite an angle for Brad Wilkins to work with, and he's still got to put a bit of distance on it as well. So, what can the scrum half do? It's just swept across the face of the posts, and you could see his grimace. He wasn't happy after he kicked it. But Longlevens will be very happy with that extra 5 points added to their tally. And we've got another good replay of the try in question. And Longlevens using the space. And clearly the journey across from Gloucester has not phased them at all, but breaking through the middle now is the captain, Louis Banks, and on his inside, James Moore. What a start this would be! Twickenham brought down metres out. The passes are going out wide into the space. This is great stuff from Twickenham to start the second half. They've come charging out the blocks here. Longlevens are now flying up in defence. They've had their wake-up call after that breakthrough from Banks. And now Twickenham have a great base to build off, but the ball has really slowed down for them now, and that's not going to help any attacking effort. So the forwards pick and go. Louis Banks back on the ball himself as captain. James Moore, the one who thought he was in for a score as well. And switching back to the blind side, Louis Banks again working his socks off to get around the park for his team. And James Moore once again, I'm just saying the same names at this point.
Carrying. Here he is again. Cheeky monkey.
Louis Banks, what are you doing? He's an absolute workhorse from that second row. But Longlevens are holding them out well, repelling them slowly. Let's see what Twickenham can do with this position on the pitch, because a score here would really bring them back into the fray. Good hands out into the back line, advantage to Twickenham being played now. Joe Ash was the latest to carry the ball, but he was holding on the floor, so no advantage there for Twickenham. They've got the penalty right in front of the posts. Are they going to take the 3? They are. Good decision there, Rocky.
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? Obviously they're chasing by 9 points, but they can start ticking off some of these points, claw it back, I guess so. But yeah, I just somebody that just wants to play and see tries being scored. But you know, maybe that's why I wouldn't be captain on a game like this, just to claw it back. But that was such a great, powerful surge from Louis Banks and his open side flanker as well. James Moore in support. But if they come away with something, then that's a success.
Well, it's Thomas Meldon standing over the ball now for Twickenham. Boys in red and black, looking to chip away at the deficit between them and Longlevens. And the kick is good. Meldon closes the deficit down. The score now reads Twickenham 6, Longlevens 12. Tom Foster is now back on for Twickenham. There we go. They're back to 15. They're back to their full strength. They've got their talisman at 10 once again. And Longlevens get a successful line-out drive going. Initial shove halted by Twickenham, so they're doing well to hold them off initially. But they're starting to peel and go around the side and surging over the try line for the score for Longlevens. It's that number 20, Ben Collier. He's come in from the backfield to join the forward push. And he's jotted down for Longlevens' 3rd try in this fixture. Big play here from the forward pack, Rocky. They're really starting this second half off on the front foot, despite the initial surge from Twickenham. from the kickoff. They've ridden the challenge as well, and that's great communication to just peel and go, isn't it? Well, Wilkins has backed himself, but it's gone just wide of the left-hand upright. So the score remains Twickenham 6, Longlevens 17 in this Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Plate final. The advantage definitely with Longlevens as they score a fantastically worked try. It's interesting that there's a few Longlevens players in this starting lineup today who featured in their 2014 Twickenham final victory in the Vase. So they've got the experience and the knowledge, they know what it takes to win on the big occasions. And taking the ball up to the line was Ben Collier there. He knows how to make a big carry, that's for sure. Lewis Boyd now gets it out wide. Longlevens looking to spread the play and spread it wide. Boyd's back on the ball and running further towards Twickenham territory. And they've won the penalty there because Twickenham weren't rolling away, and so Longlevens will come and go with it quickly. As Brad Wilkins making significant metres for the Longlevens side. The plucky scrum half wanting to get them on the front foot, looking to keep the momentum with them, and Jack Cuthbert making another good run himself. Longlevens looking to spread the play themselves now. They're the team looking to go wide and looking dangerous. But intercepted by Twickenham, and out on that far side, and surely sprinting away is Jack Dillon. Will anyone catch Dillon as he rounds towards the post? He's weaving towards the try line. He's diving over. Jack Dillon scores for Twickenham. He closes the deficit. That's a huge 5 points for the black and red. What can he inspire from here?
Absolutely massive for him coming down that wing, absolute pace. He's zigzagging, arcing run. I think he needs an oxygen tank now. He's around the length of the pitch, but vital. I think it was just from an intercept. Yes, he managed to get that intercept. He tapped it back with one hand, caught it with the other, backed himself. He's doing Panic at the Disco running, isn't he? Like a forward in space. He's looking who's coming up behind him. But that lovely little zigzag goes through, scores, dots it down, and he is buzzing.
I thought he was lost for a second. I was about to start shouting, no, the try line's that way, don't run away from it. But he did get the ball down. And Jack Dillon gets a crucial score, you must say, for Twickenham in this fixture, and Tom Foster now lines up a difficult kick of his own. We've seen Brad Wilkins do well from this angle for Longlevens. So can Foster do the same for Twickenham to pull them right back into this fixture? And just as the crowd thought it was sailing between the sticks, the roar was interrupted by the upright as the ball ricocheted off it. So Twickenham don't get the extra 2 points. And the gap remains at 6. So we've still got all to play for. But that's certainly the right way that Twickenham will want to continue the second half. And Longlevens need to do something quickly to ensure they don't do that again anytime soon. As we approach the 60-minute mark, 20 minutes left in this game, all to play for. Not a lot to separate these two on paper. Not a lot to separate them in the scoreboard at the moment. But we all know how much a try means to either side at this stage. Griffiths with the ball in hand, now inviting the rest of his backline onto it. Lewis Boyd running with intent, and now breaking away and breaking free, surely for a score. Just brought down, 5 metres out. Longlevens find themselves now. Tom Griffiths on the ball, gets his captain involved. One more pass, Griffiths circling around again. Walsingham was hurtling towards the line. What can Longlevens do with this momentum, with this ball? It slowed right down for them at the crucial moment. Griffiths reaching, scoring!
just got injured as he scored there, hasn't he? Because he's reached for it. Great work, that 2-on-1 as he goes over, passes it back in. Good defence initially by Twickenham to get themselves back. That quick play out the back. Big hits going in. That defensive line is just so disrupted. Fast ball.
Well, Longlevens capitalising on their most recent possession. And Wilkins with the opportunity to add another 2 points to take them even further out of reach. And the kick is good. The extra 2 points are added. That's 7 more points to the tally for Longlevens. James Moore doing well to get that ball out quickly for Twickenham. As I say, they've got one more chance in this game to try and salvage a try. And they're really throwing everything at this now. Joe Ash, the latest to carry. Has it been turned over by Longlevens? It hasn't. But there has been some knock-ons. The ball has gone dead. The full-time whistle blows, and Longlevens are your Papa John's Men's Counties 1 South Plate Final champions. They are victorious against Twickenham. It's been a fearsome encounter. We've seen some of the finest grassroots rugby that the country has to offer. And Rocky Clark, I'm going to come straight to you because I need a man of the match, I need a player of the game, I need one individual that stood out for you amongst all the others.
Yeah, there was a tremendous play by Longlevens there, but for me, standout player, the man who was pulling the strings, scored a try himself as well. Big frame and a fly half body. It's Tom Griffiths. I don't think he can fit the 10 shirt onto he has to have his own size 22. He is my man of the match.
Saw that muscle. He was the first one to go up to receive his winner's medal, and the rest of the team will follow in behind him. And some special mentions and special thanks on a Longlevens point of view. Special thanks to Andrew Deacon, the director of rugby, Luke Stratford, the head coach, Tom Griffiths, the player coach. Griffiths was, of course, their starting fly half and the player of the match. Tom Lovell, the team manager, and Naomi Huggins, the club physio. And of course, thank you to all of the volunteers that make rugby possible at the Longlevens Rugby Club. They have a great history behind them because at one point, Gloucester in the Gallagher Premiership played a side where all but one of the pack originated from Longlevens. So long may they continue making an impact on that community over in the West Country. The celebrations there, not quite as successful as the game they just played, falling over a simple sign. But thank you all for joining in on this first day of finals at the StoneX Stadium in the Papa John's Community Cup. We'll be back again tomorrow for 4 more fixtures. Congratulations to all those who have played today. Congratulations to all our winners. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you to Rocky for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. Have you?
Had the best day out